The demonic cult leader is my wife. Heavenly demon Cheon Taejong said, "Oh, to think you would come here. You must be in quite a hurry." As Cheon Yura ran towards heavenly demon Cheon Taejong, she said, "I have come to ask a favor of you, First Elder. I feel I must protect what is mine. I would like you to convene the Council of 7 Elders. I will make them submit and mend the rift in the Cheon clan." Heavenly demon Cheon Taejong, confused, said, "Oh?" And he said to himself, "I was worried since she's been cooped up in the lesser demon pavilion until now, so this is great news. But the problem lies in whether it's possible with her current political power, if she fails." Cheon Jumyoung said, "That is a bit of a hasty thought, young cult leader. It is a great mistake to think you can make them submit just because your martial prowess has increased." Cheon Yura looked behind and said, "A mistake? Is that what you think, Heavenly Intelligence Pavilion Master?" Cheon Jumyoung said, "That is correct, young cult leader. The one who crawled into the Heavenly Intelligence Pavilion on his own. I'm talking about your intention to take Jin Yomyoung back." As Cheon Yura was silent, she said, "It seems you are under some kind of misunderstanding. The Heavenly Intelligence Pavilion was born to be a servant. Do you think a servant can oppose the will of their master?" As Cheon Jumyoung's lips twitched, Heavenly Demon Cheon Taejong said to himself, "That is true, but Cheon Yura said, "The disposal of such a servant is something even the cult leader would find acceptable." Cheon Jumyoung said, "Must you go this far?" Taking in Jin Yomyoung was something permitted by the cult leader. Cheon Yura said, "Including driving Jin Yomyoung, who is but a newcomer, into a death trap." Cheon Jumyoung said, "That was something he volunteered for." Cheon Yura said, "I heard he is heading to the demonic jail cave right now. I won't pull him out immediately, but keep this in mind. If the Heavenly Intelligence Pavilion forgets its duty, I will surely strike it down." Cheon Jumyoung said, "I will keep that in mind." Heavenly Demon Cheon Taejong said, "By the way, to make the Council of 7 Elders submit, the help of that Heavenly Intelligence Pavilion Master you just humiliated is essential." As he pointed at Cheon Jumyoung, Cheon Yura said, "I wonder. That might be true if I intended to deal with the Council of 7 Elders politically." As Heavenly Demon Cheon Taejong was shocked, he said, "Then how would you?" "Ho!" Cheon Yura raged in power as she said, "With force." As she showed off the symbol of the Heavenly Demon, Heavenly Slaving Enhanced Energy, Cheon Jumyoung said, "Oh, a Heavenly Demon in the next generation is a great blessing as well. It is for our cult." Cheon Yura said, "Forget the Council of 7 Elders, just trust me." Cheon Jumyoung said, "Body of God and Demon, the demonic jail cave." Song Yangja of Qingcheng said, "Ha ha, you're just a bunch of brats. Come here, I'll give you a proper welcome." "Women! Are there no women?" As she shook the bars of her cell, Sando Jian said, "This isn't exactly a pleasant place." Jin Yomyoung said, "It is a prison after all." Ma Chulsu said, "I feel like my mind is being polluted." Jin Yomyoung looked above and said to himself, "Why did Ma Jinyun lead us here?" As a chain moved and echoed, Jin Yomyoung said to himself, "Suddenly my blood is boiling." Song Yangja of Qingcheng said, "Who?" Jin Yomyoung held his sword and said to himself, "Fear? No. Anticipation? Something like that. More accurately, this is fighting spirit." Song Yangja of Qingcheng said, "I am Song Yangja of Qingcheng." Baeksanga was shocked and said, "Gosh, he's so old that he should have retired and been in a car." Song Yangja of Qingcheng said, "Hinini, young lady, your tongue is quite blunt." Baeksanga said, I'm sorry." As she bowed down, Jin Yomyoung said, "There's no particular need to apologize. That's how a demonic practitioner is." Baeksanga said, But, considering your seniority, that's how an orthodox practitioner is." Jin Yomyoung said, "That's if he were a senior who devoted himself to the Murim." Baeksanga said, "Huh? What do you mean by that?" Jin Yomyoung said, "Jokwun of the Qingcheng sect. Is he indeed your disciple?" Song Yangja of Qingcheng said, "I heard Jokwun was defeated by a joint attack of the young cult leader and some brat. So that brat was you." Jin Yomyoung said, "Oh, so you are that person approximately for someone working secretly in our cult. You're in quite a pathetic state, aren't you?" Song Yangja of Qingcheng smiled and said, Hoo, I was arrogant until I met him. He is a true heaven who someone like me could never surpass." Jin Yomyoung said, "By him, you mean?" Song Yangja of Qingcheng in anger said, The heavenly demon. If only I hadn't been caught by that monster. I could have sufficiently put our society's grand plan on track. This is so frustrating. Beg Sangha said, so that's the guy who sold out the Orthodox Murim to the heaven-defying society. The reason my family was ruined, the reason I ended up in the demonic cult, and the reason my inner energy was reversed. It was all because of that deep stool who isn't even worth being dog food. Song Yangja of Qingcheng shouted, everything is just a small sacrifice for the great return. When we return to the primordial world, every martial artist will be grateful to us. Beyond the gates of the immortal path will be a perfect utopia, where we are no longer blocked by tiresome walls. We shall ascend to the heavens and become the rulers of the world, Jin Yomyong said to himself. I think I know why he sided with the heaven-defying society. As Sandojian and Ma Chulsu held Beg Sangha back, Jin Yomyong said to himself, he must have been tired of chasing the realm of immortals, which he couldn't even touch despite devoting his entire life to it. Even so, Jin Yomyong said, why is a grown-up Taoist blaming the situation? Song Yangja of Qingcheng said, you say that because you don't know what lies beyond this. Jin Yomyong said, what exactly is there? Song Yangja of Qingcheng said, see for yourself. Of course, that's if you're confident you can survive me. As his back hair suddenly grew, Samsa said in shock, what is that? Beg Sangha said, oh. Ma Chulsu said, monster. Song Yangja of Qingcheng said, he said that if I eliminate you, he would set me free. Today, in this place, I shall obtain both my freedom and revenge for my disciple. Jin Yomyong walked forward and said, since your life as a swordsman must have been shattered by the cult leader, you probably had no choice but to take that form. However, as expected, I'm lucky. Song Yangja of Qingcheng, confused, said, lucky? Jin Yomyong said to himself. Looking at him, he's closer to an experimental subject like the Nether Crow than the 10 heavenly lords. Jin Yomyong said, I just happen to be confident in one thing, and that one thing is to beat down monsters. Jin Yomyong raged and said to himself, the power of the heavenly demon is overflowing. Thanks for tuning in. I truly appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to watch this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you enjoyed what you saw, consider sharing my videos or channel with your friends who might also enjoy it. Your support means the world to me and helps my channel grow. Let's keep this community thriving together. Until next time, see you in the next video.